Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed from Erin Makes, and welcome to my class as part of this event. Welcome, welcome. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of organization today. Now, I have already finished the amazing organization. Look how pretty this is. This is what it used to look like. It was a hot mess, and it was just pure chaos. Papers were everywhere. But before we get into what I did and what all this organization is about, I'd love for you to go follow me at all my social medias, Erin Reed Makes. Everything, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, my website, all of it is Erin Reed Makes. Okay, so let's get back into what I did here, because this is what it used to look like. And now you can see it looks so much better. So this is paper storage on a shelf. You can find these shelves pretty much anywhere. I got these at Michael's, and yes, they are horizontal storage. We'll talk about the difference between horizontal and vertical storage here in a minute. But I found these at Michael's years ago. I have had this storage in my, exactly where you see it, since I moved into this house about 10 years ago. I had not organized it since, so it was a hot mess. There was stuff that should have been God knows elsewhere. And so I took out each one by one and organized it. So let me pull out the top section. Now, this top section right here is my scraps. And so I went through and organized all of the scraps, and I went very quickly, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Unfortunately, I lost that footage. I am so sorry. It's been a day. So what I decided to keep. So when you're going through and you're sorting all of your papers, if you're choosing to do a horizontal storage like this. So before I talk about the sorting of the papers, why a horizontal storage versus vertical? And I'm using a prop. So there are these plastic bins. There is also storage that looks just like this, but they're in vertical slots versus horizontal slots. I choose to store my paper horizontally for one big reason. I don't want my paper to warp, and I don't want it to bend. If you take your papers, and I'm going to take a stash of papers that I have over here. If you have your papers and you're storing them vertically over time, and you can kind of see it doing it here, they tend to like bend and warp. So along the edge of your paper, like on this, because it's all resting on one side, it's going to start doing this number. And I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. So I'm going to talk about what I pulled out of there in a minute. Because I want my paper to be nice and flat, especially if we're card making and things like that. I don't want my paper to be all bendy. I'm just going to leave this here for now. I don't want my paper to be all bendy and warpy, so when I go to make a nice flat card, or if I'm stamping on it, it's not like bent and like this, right? I want it nice and flat. So hence why I go with flat storage versus a vertical storage thing. I know some people also have like file folders and they have envelopes. You're more than welcome to do whatever you like, but this is what works for me. I also like having my storage right here because this is where I create. I know we're kind of at a funny angle right now because I needed to be at a certain angle, so you're seeing a little bit behind the scenes here. And if I want to grab paper, it's right here because I can go in here, I can grab it, boom, I have it right here, and then when I'm done, I can put it back up there. So this top shelf of mine has turned into like my scraps. I did not organize it by anything more than it was my scrap paper. Now, this is what I've decided to keep out of all that scrap paper. I pretty much kept anything that was of a certain size in black. So all of my black stuff, because I will use this as backgrounds. I will use this as mats. I will keep and do it for like on the back of whatever. So for most part, I kept, as long as it wasn't super tiny, I kept my black scraps. I also did the same thing for craft paper. And I have a lot of craft paper because I will use this again for mats and stuff, so it's flying all over the place. I even had some that I've already cut to like card base for A2 size cards. So I kept my craft. I also kept anything that was white. And a lot of this is big enough as a card base because I had it like shut. I just kept throwing it back up there because I'm like, oh, I don't need to do that. Or it's big enough to like stamp an image. It's big enough to color and stamp and die cut. Like this is perfect for that. Or as another mat, or like maybe I just need to test colors, a quick swatch. Maybe I need to test my inks. So this is all my white cardstock, and all my white cardstock, my craft cardstock and black cardstock, I buy by the ream, and I get it from Amazon. My white cardstock is the Nina white cardstock. It's 110-pound index cardstock. I used to get it where it was like pristine white. But now recently I've been doing the recycled, and I'm going to show you the difference in color. I organized all my white paper, and all my white paper is now on that shelf. But if you look here, can you see there's a little bit of a difference in color there? So this is the cream and then this is the white. This is the recycled one. And I love the Nina White cardstock. I also have a little bit of some cream at the bottom. So if I want to have like white, I have some. If I'm okay with it being a little tiny bit off-white, I have that too. I also went in and I very, very quickly just kept scraps of paper of whatever. They're pattern papers, they're solid color cardstocks, but they're not 8.5 by 11 and they're not full 12 by 12. So they're just little bits. And I made, they might have a tiny punch out of it. There's nothing wrong with these papers. I still would use them. Oh, well, yeah, see, look here. Not quite a 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11. This one apparently got lost in the mix. So we're gonna add this and I'm gonna show you, because I found it, where that would go. Oh, I found some others. I apparently didn't do a very good job of sorting. So we're gonna show you, because this is what I did. I kind of went through each one of these and went, oh, what's in here? Like this is like from a 12 by 12. It's a little bit messed up. So, and then I did not organize this. Let me just make sure I don't have any other in here that I made an oopsie on. Did I put any other 12 by 12s in here? No, I don't think I did. Or 8.5 by 11. Nope, that's not 8.5 by 11. That was a 12 by 12 cut down. I did not overthink when I sorted this out. I went yes or no. So that is gonna go back up top. And that is my scraps. And then here is my black, white, and craft. And it's gonna go on top because that's probably the one I'm gonna use the most. Now, I did sort out, because I also did this, and this is just for me personally. I sorted out a whole bunch of papers. I was like, I wanna use these for a project. And I'm like, I know I wanna use it for a project, but when I'm done with that project, they're gonna go away because I don't need them anymore. These are all of my papers, for the most part, not 100%, that are coming from my digital collections. These are all, well, maybe the exception of this one, but these are all from my digital collections. So if I need to reprint these, I can, but I'm gonna use these for a journaling project that I have kind of envisioned. And so I set these off to the side because I was like, I wanted to use these for this project coming up where we're gonna punch out fun shapes and they go in a journal, and it's a fun way to use some of my scrap sheets of paper. So that's why I put all of these aside. That's why they're over there. Now that I have a few sheets, let me show you what I did for the next section. I went through and I sorted out and I had it all laid out over here. I had all the colors and I said, okay, if it's 12 by 12, it goes in this stack. If it's 8.5 by 11, it goes in this stack. I then took all my 8.5 by 11, so pretend this was all the 8.5 by 11s, and I sorted them by color. I put all the black in one pile and look how much black I found. I have so much. I don't have to go buy black paper for a very long time. All of my whites and my creams, I sorted into this one. Now, they were all over the place. I actually had these ones way down here to begin with, and I kept having to bend over, and I'm like, I'm getting too old to do that. So I moved it up because I grab it most often. And then on this pile right here is all my colors. They're so pretty. So here is all my beautiful 8.5 by 11 color cardstock. And I have 3 gorgeous purples. So I'm gonna open this up till I find the purple section. And I am not too picky. Like, look how hard it was for me to pull this out of here. I don't keep tons and tons of paper. I don't go buy lots of paper unless I absolutely need it. The 3 colors I will for sure go buy, which I don't need to because I realize I have way more than I thought, are black. I got oodles. Now I don't need to go buy any for a while. White, I've got almost 2 full reams of one off-white and one like pure white. And craft, and I do have my craft right down here as well, so it's right there. That would be the next one I would need to purchase, and I buy that by the ream or buy a pretty good, hefty card, and I buy like 110-pound cardstock. When it comes to colors, I will do my job, my best fits. Rarely do I go out and buy a specific color unless it's going to be for like a kit that I'm going to make, or like I have a very specific project that I might use more than just a singular card. But I'm more of a singular card kind of girl. Maybe I might make a pair, and I will find the best fit of paper. Or I will take white, and you see my amazing inks over here. I will make a color that will best fit that, or I will paint the paper or do something like that. Or I will just use like a black mat or something along those lines. So I have so much paper, I am not gonna go out and buy more paper unless I absolutely have to at this point. All right, so that's what this level is my colored sheets of 8.5 by 11. Now, moving on down, over here is my 12 by 12. Same thing. It's basically this, and I put it in Roy G. Biv. So once I had all my 8.5 by 11s, I went red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And then I had black, white, and craft. So I had my table just full. The first level, this level right here, I did red, orange, yellow, and brown. And I also put black at the bottom as well. So that is what the first level is, because it was too many papers to fit into one shelf. The bottom stack, now I'm going into blue, green, violet, and I didn't have that much white, so the white's at the bottom. So here is all of the papers, and again, the reds are all kind of like, here are the reds. I'm not too picky about them being in like shade or hue order. I did try to do a pretty good job that I was like, if there is more than one of the same type of paper, like look, I have a whole bunch of, well, that's not a very good example, right here. I have a whole bunch of this paper and it's all from the same thing. They have the barcode at the bottom. I put the barcode at the back so it wouldn't get in the way. And sometimes on the back side, it's a pattern paper, but on the front side, it's a solid. As long as it was pretty close to what I would call solid color paper. And what's another one I consider to be a solid color, like the dots, that's a solid. I even put some in here like this. I would consider this a pretty solid, like this is pretty much orange. It's got a little bit of a pattern, but it's what's there. So this is how these are organized. It's not like super huge, but I'm like, oh, I need red. I can pull this out. I can pop out all my reds, and then I can start kind of going, okay, I can sort through this. I can see if I have the right color hue of red. And if I need a 12 by 12, I'll grab a 12 by 12. I'll probably default to my 8.5 by 11 first. And if I don't find it there, I might pull out from here, because look at all the shades. There's so many fun shades. I don't think I need to go by red anytime soon. And there was yellow in here too, right? Red, orange, yellow. Yellow is the one that I have probably the least amount of that I might have to purchase at some point, but that's okay. So that's how I organized these ones. And then initially I thought, well, maybe I need to make a shelf just for the black and the white and the craft of the 12 by 12. And then as I was sorting it out, I realized I really don't have that much of those colors. So they're just gonna fit into those two shelves. So below that, I have a whole bunch of 12 by 12 paper pads. So how many of you have ones like this? I have oodles. I have so many of these paper pads. This one's like all black. They're from Die Cuts with a View, or they might be from another brand very similar. And they have sheets that you can pull out, and they're gorgeous, gorgeous papers. Like, they're so pretty. Now, one of the things I do with these when I organize is, again, I like them on the flat shelf because they don't warp and stuff. But number two, as I'm working the paper pad, if I've got little scraps left over, I just pop them back inside of the paper pad, because I might just need a tiny bit of that color. And all of the colors in here go really well together. So I don't have to go and hunt for specific colors. Sometimes they even already have solid cardstocks in here. So these paper pads are great. You sometimes need to go through and take a look at the shelving systems that you have and be like, is it time to revisit and to clean up and to purge and just make sure everything is looking a whole lot better? And it was time. It was way over time. And I ended up throwing away, actually recycling. Don't feel bad about throwing away some of your scraps. You know if you want to keep it or not. I have so much paper, and this is not even the whole of it, because as I was talking about, those are my 12 by 12 paper pads. I have a drawer kind of down here by my feet where I have like my 6.5 or my 6 by 4s or my 8 by 8s. Like, here's a couple of the 6 by 6s. They belong right down here. I have a nice big drawer that's full of them. They're kind of stacked up nicely. It belongs in this big calyx thing behind me, and I know they're there. I don't have oodles and oodles and oodles of them, and there's not a really good way to sort them, so that's where they go. I also, as I was going through and sorting all this, found things that don't belong there. For instance, I found a sheet of, looks like paper, but it's actually foam. Foam does not belong with the paper, it needs to go somewhere else. I also found some, this is actually like canvas, it's like printed canvas. So it's kind of like paper, but it's not. And I'm like, I don't think it really needs to belong in there because it's a different kind of surface. I also found, I have watercolor paper, and I keep that in a very, very different location. So, because it's watercolor paper, it's not just cardstock, this is just cardstock. So the watercolor paper had to go with the rest of it. And I only found like 2 sheets and I have no idea what was in there. So sorting things into light things. I also found a couple of envelopes. So they went to my envelope drawer. And I also found some already folded card bases, and I have a spot where I put those. So there's stuff that didn't belong there that got to get purged. Comes time to use sorting and organizing your shelf. This looks so much better now. So much more pleasing. I have it right here at my fingertips. I can grab it and I can use it as I need to. It's color coded so I can see the colors like through Roy G. Biv. If you want to go down to the length of going for hue, you totally can. Now, what are some options if you're like, that's not going to work for me, Erin? I want like all my colors, I don't care what size, together. Then do that. There's nothing wrong with putting your scraps of all your blues, your 12 by 12s, your 8.5 by 11s, like putting all your blues together. I would suggest, because I only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's about 8 of these in here. I would suggest getting the shelving units if you like this form of storage for your paper. There's some that have in the same size, instead of having 4 shelves in here, there's some that have up to 16, or 12. So it's a lot more like segregated out there. So if that works for you, then by all means, like you can get, and they stack on top of each other really well. These ones are made out of wood. There are some that are made out of more of like a foam, which is what this is. It's a little bit of a different surface. Just look around, make sure you're getting one that's got good solid, like I would go with like a particle board or a wood or something. And there's tons of options out there for these kinds of storage. So whatever works for you, works for you. It's great for vertical storage. Vertical, but still have horizontal storage. I hope that makes sense. And one of the big things when it comes to sorting and organizing a space and working with shelving is you never want to fill it up where you can't put anything else in there. Hopefully this inspired you to organize your paper shelves. Thanks so much for watching. And don't forget to like and follow all of my social media Erin Makes, and have fun at the rest of the event. Bye everybody.